slugging percentage. Well, it's Allie Kilponen in the circle today as the Tigers try to even this series. And Georgia chasing Tennessee in the SEC. Cannot catch the Volunteers. They could tie in the loss column if Tennessee were to lose today and Georgia were to win twice. But Tennessee officially has claimed the regular season championship. But Georgia hot on the heels of the Volunteers the entire season. Allie Kilponen with a 12-6 record in the circle to get the start for LSU.
The senior throwing on senior weekend here, and today's her day where she'll be honored.
She's majoring in social work, seeking her master's degree.
The master of spin, she can throw a drop, curve, rise, chain, screw, but her best pitch is her curveball.
She has worked 115 innings in her final campaign and given up 89 hits.
You know, Lynn, I didn't think she looked particularly sharp the last couple of weeks, but she looked dynamite against Alabama last weekend in Tuscaloosa.
Indeed she did. We're underway here, an early start. This game was to have been played at 1 o'clock had it been a single game, but of course the teams could not play yesterday because of rain and lightning. And so the doubleheader today, which has just gotten started. Tell a friend about it. Perhaps you've got a buddy who enjoys SEC softball that is unaware of the early start time, but tell them they'll get 2 for the price of none today. Let's look at some SEC standings as the first hitter rolls out. Tennessee has clinched the SEC regular season championship. Even if Tennessee loses today, they would have more victories potentially than Georgia and a higher winning percentage. Arkansas and Auburn and Alabama are next at 14 and 9, and LSU right in the middle of the pack with Texas A&M. The top 4 seeds in that tournament get first round byes in the SEC championship tour, which will be played in Fayetteville, Arkansas.
Beautiful backdoor curve on that last pitch by Kilponen. Tigers can help their seeding purposes here in a regional berth if they can get a victory or 2 today, and of course a win or go a little deep in that SEC tournament.
Sarah Mosley has had an impressive offensive year. She has started every game. And even though she's a 2-hole hitter, she's got 16 home runs, that's second on the team, and 47 driven in.
Well, as we've seen, this Georgia team can flat hit.
Sierra Briggs is calling for it, and the LSU center fielder snags it between a couple of teammates. So 2 out here in the top of the first inning. The wind is whistling toward the plate. It's going to be very difficult right now to get a ball out of here.
And Georgia loves to hit home runs. They have 79. They lead by a wide margin in the SEC. But this is usually a pitcher's friendly ballpark, not a hitter's friendly ballpark, as opposed to where they play in Athens. You're right, that wind is blowing straight in.
Somebody would have to flatten the softball to get it out of here today.
Sometimes this park is where home runs come to die.
2 balls and no strikes on Jada Kearney. Two outs, nobody on base. Kearney with a half swing. That was a very uncertain cut.
Can you say fooled? Great pitch, though, right on the knees. Kilponen lives there today. She'll be very successful.
Here's the 2-1 pitch. Lifted out of play on the right side. Don't forget, there will be a second game following this one, and that will wrap up the regular season.
Kilponen was a 2022 All-SEC first-team performer.
Kearney, a very strong hitter. The 2-2 pitch weaves its way outside. Kearney is hitting a robust .387. She has started every game. There are 4 in the Georgia lineup who have done that. Kearney with 18 home runs and 43 driven in. This
Good
is
play.
right back to Kilponen, and a fine first inning for Allie Kilponen as she retires. Position is batting only .218 against her. She has allowed 114 hits in 140 innings. So a very good hits to innings ratio.
She's a graduate student, as I said, and she goes to practice maybe a couple of times a week. Probably throws her bullpen and
She
checks
goes to
in.
class every day of the week. Coffey has 68 base hits, which is one of the leading numbers in the SEC. Briggs behind her has 61. Those two are roommates, Coffey and Briggs. That's a whole lot of base hits from that room, isn't it?
Absolutely, and it's a, you talk about table setters, they do a great job, including leading off with a hitter that can do just about anything with her bat.
And Briggs the same on deck.
And they both can fly.
Coffey has walked 30 times. That's second on the team. She has fanned only 22 times. So a very good percentage of walking 8 more times than striking out. That's not a common thing.
And boy, has she matured as a third baseman. Ooh, she needs to get that pitch up, but that's absolutely what the Slappers do not want to see, a hard drop ball inside. But it was too low.
So the full count pitch coming to Danica Coffey. Shelby Walters, one of the best in the league, 17 wins, only 3 defeats. Coffey slaps it to the left side, snared by the third baseman, and another good play. Sarah Mosley turns it in. That's a couple of times we've seen her in this series take a base hit away.
Georgia Bulldogs play a fantastic defense. They put on a show here Friday night.
Their coaching staff, after the game on Friday, was saying that that was the best complete game offensively, defensively, and in the circle that Georgia had turned in the entire year.
Well, they were extremely impressive.
Briggs gets the bunt down, second baseman covering, out on a very close play. Briggs apparently, although not liking it, agrees with the call because she did not turn and ask for a review.
Yeah, and Beth Torina looked at Lindsay Lepwich and said, headset, and Lindsay saying no. So she was out.
Very close, but that's the second out. Well done, first baseman to second baseman covering.
Yeah, I didn't think she had enough on that throw to get her, but it got there.
Here's Taylor Pleasance, who swings through the first one.
Taylor Pleasance, who missed 6 weeks of being able to truly swing the bat, was a little concerned after that last at-bat Friday night. And maybe she had maybe tweaked it again, but that first swing here looks okay.
Mosley gets that one in the air. She was able to reach down and pluck it before it hit the dirt. So the sinking line drive is turned in.
Certainly got a chance to win a lot of ball games when you're putting together those stats. But Lynn, we've been treated. We got to see the SEC champion play here in Tennessee, and now the runner-up Georgia, and 2 very good clubs. And the LSU Tigers just timely hitting away from being in that conversation.
The one-strike pitch to Davis is just off the mark. I beg your pardon, that's there for a strike. It's 1-1. Lindy Ray Davis Takes another one, and that's a great pitch from Kilponen. That's almost an unhittable pitch.
Yeah, and if she gets that call and she can deliver that pitch consistently, turn the lights out.
Davis is only a sophomore. She's hitting a whopping .363, 4 homers. So not the prototypical cleanup batter in terms of power numbers. She's driven in 20, but 10 doubles among her 45 hits.
Now, Kilponen just threw a drop ball in the dirt, and that's okay because she's showing that, you know, she has a drop ball. So she kind of puts it in the mind of the hitters that, oh, she's got this pitch too now.
She tried to find the outside corner again, but misses wide. And it's 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Kind of hung that changeup up.
And it's pulled foul off the facing of the LSU bullpen.
Yeah, she got away with that one with a little bit of a mistake.
Kuma and Chambly will follow for Georgia. The wind continues to blow with some gusto toward the plate. 3-2 pitch hit high and deep to left field. This one is carrying, and a twisting catch made by Allie Newland.
How about that karaoke footwork out there?
Allie Newland started back and then pirouetted and located it. Watch her now. Great shot from our outfield camera, and she was able to spin and get under it.
Oh, you little girls out there that play outfield, you watch that about 10 times. Just keep rewinding it. That is exactly how you're supposed to play that fly ball.
So
Swivel
here
hips, the head doesn't turn.
We've seen Newland a lot behind the plate because of necessity and shortages at catcher this year, but she is just really a superb outfielder and has been her entire career.
She's got to be really the Tigers MVP when you think about it. You
in
can
many
put her,
ways, you're absolutely
You can put her
right.
everywhere. She's leading the team in SEC competition with her batting average.
Well, Beth Torina said she could play every position except pitcher.
There you go. Make yourself invaluable to the team.
Kuma, who had struck out only 6 times coming into this series, and that's the entire year, struck out 3 times on Friday. And she's down in the count 1-2. Now it's level at 2. Out of Fresno, California, and she has had a terrific year. Hitting .385 with 10 home runs, 9 doubles, and a triple. Over 40 runs driven in. And the 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss. LSU pitchers have just really taken the bat out of Kuma's hands. She has struck out 4 times in this series and had fanned only 6 times the entire year in well over 120 at-bats.
That's an incredible stat. Her goal is to be the toughest out in the lineup, and whew, they have her number this weekend.
Here's Sydney Chambly with 2 outs. She's from Dallas, Georgia. Kilponen pops off the circle and grabs it and makes a strong throw. Both teams unblemished.
For all of these teams.
Here's Georgia Clark. Georgia is out of Houston. Her parents are here to see her final game in the regular season.
She was honored before this game. Kilponen will be honored before the next game.
1-0 pitch. Ripped into center field, a base hit. It's the first of the game.
Yeah, I think that's a changeup that just kind of hung there, and Clark read it. I'm going to have to ask the Tigers what that funky little dance is when they get a base hit. But you see that pitch was elevated.
It's an FLD. Funky little dance. Everything else in this game has an acronym, right?
You're right.
This young lady was 3 for 3 on Friday, Allie Newland. Newland is a very stern player, and by that I mean she is serious, brings her lunch pail to practice and to the game.
All out. Daughter of athletes. Her mom played softball, and her daddy told her that no ball should hit the grass out there.
They hardly ever do when she's in left field.
And she just put on a clinic with that ball that was hit out there, because that was a tough catch.
Newland in SEC play is averaging .397, just under 400. That's 4th best in the league.
And that's first for the Tigers, and she's asking Beth Torina to do that. Give her the signal again. She kind of missed it.
The 1-1. Off the plate, 2-1.
I had a player one time to ask me to redo the signal, but they did it twirling their finger towards their head, like, you know, like you're crazy, instead of redo it.
Newland.
There she goes.
And
good
Georgia
peg.
Clark is on the move, and she is tagged out. She's claiming she was safe at second base. The call is out. Georgia Clark does not try to steal off it, and she's not leaving the bag. They're going to challenge this.
No, she doesn't. But how funny do the players know the call for the headset? Let's see. The ball beats her. Does she?
She's safe from that angle, I think, but we'll see.
I don't know, Lynn.
Maybe the tag on the hip.
She might have got her before that leg got in. I'm not sure, but that's funny. They all do it, though.
They need to come up with a dance for that. Is the tag applied to Georgia Clark's hip before she got to the bag?
It would have had to have been the tag on the hip before her foot came down on the bag.
Now it's a 3-2 count on Allie Newland, with Carly Petty coming aboard next.
Knowing Georgia, she might call the SEC office and say, I want to see it myself.
Newland spoils the 3-2 pitch. You know, it's remarkable of that when you think about it. Only 3 players in the SEC against SEC competition have a higher batting average than number 44 at the plate right now.
And, you know, I mean, we talk about her. We give her a lot of credit, but it's, you know, when you talk about the Tigers, it's all about the pitching and Taylor Pleasance. Rightfully so. But this young lady, as I said, she would be my MVP right now.
I don't know that anybody could mount
and she had,
an audience, mount an argument with a lot of evidence otherwise.
And she had to move up to that 3rd spot when Pleasance couldn't swing the bat for 6 weeks, and did a great job there.
She rips this one, but it's on a line to the second baseman.
And once again, she hits the ball as good as you can hit it.
Sydney Kuma was right there to snare it.
Now batting for the Tigers, second baseman, number 14, Carly Petty.
Petty had a rough night Friday night.
She is prone to strike out, and she did so frequently in the first game. A .304 average.
But boy, she has played an important role for the Tigers this year, filling in at second in a dire need position.
She's been very good defensively, and she has been very solid offensively.
Yes, she just has kind of run into a little patch here, but her numbers postseason-wise in her career have been phenomenal.
One ball, one strike, 2 outs, nobody on base.
These Bulldog pitchers don't strike out a ton of hitters, but what they do is control them.
That last pitch hit the 70 mph mark.
Just amazing to me that so many of these players hit that mark now.
One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. We play in the bottom of the second, the first of 2 games today. We've got them both here for you on the SEC ESPN network. Yvette Gerard, Lynn Rollins with you for the final time this year, and we are so very pleased you have chosen to spend some time with us enjoying SEC softball from Baton Rouge. Call a buddy or two and remind them that 2 games are coming their way today. The 2-2 pitch fouled off. Petty is trying to become a 2-out base runner. And a changeup is off the mark.
Just missed. A little low.
Walters coming into the game at 140 innings to her credit. Her control has been really good. Only 26 walks.
Ooh.
That one came inside, and they're calling a foul ball.
Oh, come on. She's in the batter's box. How can you call that?
They're saying the ball hit the bat.
Oh. Let's see. It might have hit the knob.
Did it hit the end of the bat?
Might have hit the knob, but I was like, there's no way that. I thought maybe they were saying that, you know, she was over the plate.
That's a very difficult call for the umpire. That's James Colsey, who called it immediately. So in his mind, he saw it cleanly.
Oh, yeah, and he told Howard Dodson to get right back in the dugout. That's what he saw. And like you said, Carly Petty came right back. Although she did what she was supposed to do, turn and go towards first immediately.
Here's the 3-2 pitch again, swing and a miss.
And that's the pitch they keep striking her out on.
So a base hit, but only 3 came to the plate, and we go to the. Here's Jaden Fields. Jaden Fields comes from a very athletic family. Her brother is Justin Fields, the former Ohio State quarterback who was sensational during his college career and is now the quarterback for the Chicago Bears.
Can you say athletic family or what?
Yeah.
Bet her brother was tough on her too, like mine was.
Her dad was a football player too at Eastern Kentucky. Kilponen sweeps that one wide on the 0-2 pitch. Fields, Goodwin, and Armistead, the bottom third of the order for Georgia here in the third. Fields goes down on strike. She chased the one that was working its way off the end of the bat.
And there's the reason you know that Kilponen is really on today. Georgia is swinging at pitches that are not strikes.
That's the second strikeout for Kilponen. And it brings on Jaden Goodwin.
Well, Kilponen's got that tight spin on that curveball today. And that's a pitch that better spin because it's a pitch that's in the plane of the bat.
The outfield is straight away. This is popped up, and Taylor Pleasance is calling for it. The LSU shortstop snags it. and there are 2 outs.
You're watching this game, you're going to get the pleasure of seeing 2 of the very best shortstops in this game. They will put on a clinic.
The plays we saw from Ellie Armistead on Friday still resonate in my mind. There were 3 or 4 of them that were as good at any level, any sport you will ever see.
They had the fans buzzing, you know, people leaving the stadium saying, we thought Pleasance was the, you know, epitome of it. And Armstead put on a clinic herself. And Coach Baldwin said this is the best softball she's played so far in her career.
Well, defensively, it was absolutely remarkable, like a ninja.
Backdoor curveball working for Hilponen, and then the outside curveball. So she's working both sides of the plate. Thrown 1 drop ball, I believe. Hadn't thrown too many change-ups. It's that curveball again out. So far, she has handled this Georgia lineup. Now, they did make a pretty good adjustment the second time through on Friday night, so we'll have to see. And that's usually the mark of very good hitting teams. Can you make an adjustment?
Two outs, nobody on base. 2 strikes on Ellie Armistead at the bottom of the order. She committed, and the 3rd strikeout of the inning, only a 10-pitch performance.
They pitched well, they hit with runners in scoring position, and defense was lights out.
Rudity is first pitch swinging. McKenzie at the plate with a .290 average. She's from Franklin, North Carolina.
First and only North Carolina native to play for the LSU Tigers in softball.
5 homers this year, including 1 off that monster scoreboard in right field. LSU's baseball team is on the road against Auburn in the 3rd game of the series. LSU won the 1st game. Auburn came back and won yesterday. This is rerouted to the second baseman, and 1 finally gets through.
I was about to say, I thought that ball was going to bounce off of Fields to Kuma, and it would have been like the epitome of what's happened, but ball was well hit. Base hit.
It's off the first baseman and then is rerouted to Kuma, but it took a little funny twist when it got to her as well. And Rudity, like Clark did an inning ago, singles to open the frame. So Shelby Walters working now with a runner at first. That's upstairs. Let's see if LSU calls upon Macy Bergeron to bunt here. She does not have a sacrifice this year. And so far she's showing no indication of bunting.
Set all kind of records in high school. Notre Dame of probably a reign, one of those. And probably wasn't asked to bunt probably ever in her high school career.
Here's the 2-0 pitch. Popped up, and the third baseman had to take charge because the catcher could not locate it, and the late arrival by Mosley was not in time to make that catch, although she laid out and did everything she could to grab it.
That's the corner's fault there. They've got to be calling 3-3-3-3. They've got to help that catcher out so she knows that the ball's on the third base side, because she had no clue where the ball was.
So Lindy Ray Davis could not locate it, and Mosley couldn't come down from third to get to it in time.
And the Tigers caught a break there. Let's see if they can capitalize. Now we're going to bunt.
And that's fouled away at the plate. So 2 balls, 2 strikes. Rudity is at first base. Davis has thrown out 10 would-be base runners this year, including one earlier in this game.
So Friday night, those 2 plays would have been made.
3 balls, 2 strikes to the rookie catcher, Macy Bergeron.
I didn't think that pitch was that bad, but Davis kind of caught it and pulled it away so fast, looking for the runner to move.
This will come down in foul ground, unreachable by Goodwin. Another very nice crowd here.
Great crowd.
It remains to be seen if LSU will host a regional. But it won't be long before the seedings are set for the championship field.
Well, you've got already 2. Here we go again. You can't make that play.
Armistead on the backhand side got to it, but was unable to leap and throw accurately from first base.
I didn't know if she had a play at second. Let's see.
I think second might have been the choice there.
I was kind of shocked that she went to first, considering how long the throw you have to make.
So back-to-back base hits. The Tigers had some opportunities in 3 innings on Friday with very similar situations. 2 men aboard and nobody out. And couldn't do much with it. Let's see what happens here in the 3rd against a very good pitcher. Here's Gutierrez, who tries to bunt, lets it pass for a ball.
She's a lefty. Of course, I don't come to practice every day, but you would think she can put a bunt down.
Raylene hitting .288. This is her 48th start.
Of course, the pitcher's job is not to allow that bunt to be put down.
1 home run for Gutierrez, 18 driven in. The bunt is down, and the throw over to first base from Mosley is in time. The sacrifice pushes Rudity and Bergeron into scoring position.
Great bunt.
Now the Tigers' best hitter comes to the plate. With an RBI opportunity, Rudity is the lead runner. Bergeron behind her.
And the pop-up that wasn't caught is to LSU's advantage. They've got to take advantage of that situation.
Coffey was robbed of a base hit on a quick one-hop chop to Mosley last time. Look at Mosley's jersey. We'll try to get a shot of that. Look how dirty it is already.
Dirty dogs.
Yeah. She's one of those players who gets in the dirt, do anything to pick up that ground ball or whatever it takes.
What a challenge here for Walters.
Coffey with 68 hits this year. That's 3rd in the entire SEC. 6th in batting average, 10th in on-base percentage. She is having an All-America year.
And she's who I'd want up at the plate right here, right now.
The 0-2 pitch coming. Popped up. Shortstop calling for it. And there is the second out. So Coffey, who 59% of the time this year has scored a runner from third base, fails to do it on the pop-up near second. Two gone. Briggs comes up with teammates in scoring position.
Crucial moment early in this game right here. Will LSU finally break that bugaboo of not being able to get a hit and scoring position?
Briggs bounced out first baseman to second baseman covering in the first. 1 strike. Briggs crouches, levels the bat just above her shoulder, and waits for the 0-1 pitch. Off the plate a little bit. Briggs has had 2 home runs this year, and each of them have been 4-run swings. The 1-1 pitch. Check swing, foul ball. That moves the count to 1-2. You
got 2 of the better hitters on your team up in this situation. It's what you want. Let's see if they can complete their mission here.
Shelby Walters checks the wristband, and here we go.
Trying to jam those lefties. It worked with Coffey.
Walters has only thrown 2 wild pitches the entire year. Mosley at third, throws it across. And the side is retired, so the first 2 Tigers got aboard, but a sacrifice, a pop-up, and a... LSU has out-hit Georgia by a 3-0 count. But nobody has changed the scoreboard. We are scoreless as we play in the top of the 4th.
Goodnight is a transfer from Alabama.
Dallas Goodnight, Sarah Mosley, and Jada Kearney will get a look for the second time at Allie Kilponen, who has been marvelous so far. Pleasance turns it into an out from her shortstop position. Pleasance has only committed 5 errors this year. Coffey has only committed 3. And the team is fielding at a .977 percentage
Much improved.
coming into this game.
Well, you got Coffey that's played there a year now, had never played third base before. Got a great-looking, good job, great-looking second baseman in Carly Petty to shore up. There was a problem there at second.
That was Raylene Gutierrez scrambling back and making an over-the-shoulder catch. Mosley is retired. She grabs it in foul ground for the second out. Last year, Coffey committed 15 errors at third base. She's committed 12 fewer this year.
Well,
Pleasance had 14 errors and 9 fewer this year. Team last year had 61 errors, which is a lot, and only 33 this year.
Beth Torina said Coffey worked her tail off at third to get better. Not an easy position to be thrown at,
No, it's not.
not having played there before.
Kearney is on a 9-game hitting streak. It's the longest streak right now for Georgia. She bounced back to Kilponen last time.
And she leads the team with 18 home runs and 43 RBIs. And
Yeah, they've got 34 home runs between them, Mosley and Kearney, number 2 and 3 in the order.
big presence in the box.
The outfield is deep and straight away. The wind continues to inhibit fly balls to the outfield.
And Tony Baldwin knew they probably weren't going to hit as many home runs. Said the key to beating LSU is string together hits.
Kearney is out of Columbus, New Jersey. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The bases are clean as we sail along here in a scoreless game in the 4th. Kilponen has been masterful so far. A call, third strike, burns the inside edge. Just an 8-pitch inning after a 10. LSU could not move them around. And now it's Taylor Pleasance, Georgia Clark, and Allie Newland. So this is the meat and potatoes portion of the LSU lineup. Pleasance, Clark, Newland. Shelby Walters has done a really good job of making crucial pitches when she's absolutely needed to. This is her 20th start. She's had 6 complete games.
And I'm going to tell you, Kilponen looks as good as she's looked all year.
She really does.
She may be rounding that corner for postseason play, which the Tigers desperately need their leader in the circle to emerge.
One of the things we have not seen from either starting pitcher, and it's in the positive column, of course, and that's walks.
Giving your team a chance on every at-bat.
Georgia's pitching staff has not walked a batter in this series so far. There will be no play on this. It's in foul ground.
That's impressive. That's almost 11 innings without a walk.
Pleasance is played slightly to the opposite field.
What a lift she gives this Tiger team when she's in the lineup and fully healthy.
The count is even at 2. Pleasance is one of the taller shortstops in America, listed at 6 feet and might even be slightly taller than that. The payoff pitch coming to Taylor Pleasance. Can LSU get a batter aboard to start an inning for the 3rd straight time?
Took that outside pitch and tried to pull it.
Kuma makes the play at second base. This game started at noon. The 3rd game of the series was to have been played at 1 o'clock Central Time. But these teams could not play yesterday because of day-long rain. And so a noon doubleheader today, and that will wrap everything up. And I bet it's likely that every other game in the SEC will be over when the 2nd game of the doubleheader today here is concluded. We will catch you up on SEC scores as we get the opportunity. Ball 1 to Georgia Clark. Taking an overview, though, Tennessee with a win yesterday did clinch the regular season SEC championship. It's ahead of Georgia by 1 game in the loss column, and Georgia will have played 1 fewer game than Tennessee this year. It lost a game because of weather. Clark, 127 walks. That's 3rd in LSU history. 41 in homers. That's 4th in LSU history, and 158 RBI. That's in the top 10.
Had a lot of those walks while Pleasance couldn't swing a bat, so opposing teams are keeping the 2 biggest bats from swinging for about 6 weeks.
Clark had a base hit last time.
Make it 2.
And has a base hit this time.
Having a good day on senior day. You'd hope for every player that happens.
LSU has the only 4 hits in the game. But can the Tigers get a timely knock? Something that's going to have consequence. But then we've got a little pause in the action here, and I want to mention how much again, for many, many years now, we've had an opportunity to work together, how much I respect your work, your friendship, and it's been just a whole lot of fun with wonderful feedback from all over the country, really. And to everybody who enjoys these SEC Network broadcasts, we say thank you. It's going to keep coming your way. The whole postseason will be covered through the SEC family of networks. Well done, partner.
Oh, thank you. We have fun up here, and if tune in and just stay with us. We'll make you laugh, or we'll give you some knowledge that I'm pretty sure you didn't have before you turned in.
Giglio is pinch running.
And it's not about softball.
Madeline Giglio is the pinch runner at first. Allie Newland at the plate. She lined out to the second baseman last time.
Well, you don't want the hottest hitter to have to bunt, so I'm pretty sure Beth Torina doesn't really want to give that signal. Will she let Giglio go? We've talked about the Georgia Bulldogs being able to throw people out.
The 1-1 off the mark. As we get to the halfway point in this game, Yvette, this game has that old-fashioned softball feel, doesn't it?
Yep, the way it used to be played. Zip, 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 zip.
Howard Dobson came out and asked something of the plate umpire, who quickly responded, "I've got it, I've got it."
I think he might have lost track of the count. I'm not sure, because Newland actually asked him something also, and she shook her head, okay.
Two balls, two strikes, one out, one on. We are scoreless in the bottom of the fourth. Here's the 2-2 pitch. A little bit tight. We'll check Giglio now with one out and a 3-2 count. Let's see if she'll be moving. I wouldn't be surprised if they do put her in motion. She's not going, and this ball is drilled deep to right center field. It one-hops the wall.
Should have been going. She'd have scored.
Runners at second and third now. On a ringing double by Allie Newland, who is 4 for 5 in this series, and that's her 8th double of the year. And once again, she gives LSU an opportunity.
They have no answer for Allie Newland in this series so far.
This ball one-hops the wall off the warning track.
Outfielders did a great job of getting that ball in quick and tracking it down, because Giglio can fly. But Beth Torina had no chance but to stop her there.
Now it's Petty, who has struck out frequently in this series and leads LSU in strikeouts.
Wow, look at the corners.
Very tight.
Do they think it's going to be a safety squeeze or a squeeze?
Mosley at third base and Fields at first. Inching in, getting very close to the plate.
Trying to make that play at the plate, but you severely cut down the angles for the defense when you're pulled in that close for the corners. Ball can get through.
They'll get a little closer even now.
I tell you, that's almost old school close.
Well, used to, the third baseman would shake hands with the left-handed batter before the pitch.
It was incredible how close we had corners playing. Still trying to pitch her outside. Of course, that's the pitch there. You want the ball hit to the left side so the runner can't advance. But it has been her kryptonite in striking out. That screwball tailing away from her.
5 hits for the Tigers, but nobody has scored. A 2-1 pitch, bunt on, and this ball is twisting off to the left side, foul.
And there was a squeeze, and Beth Torina has done that many times in her career here. You got the trailing runner ends up at third if it blows up. So it is the time when you would want to squeeze.
Well, especially with a player at the plate who has fanned frequently. Let's see what happens here on the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. That's the second out.
She is struggling with that pitch. But kudos to Walters. She made that pitch.
She has struck out.
Can't reach it.
2 has Walters, and it's been Petty both times. Here's Rudity.
She's got some pop. Her job is right side or get it out of the infield so they can at least tag. Take that back. There's 2 outs. She can't tag.
Rudity hitting just under 300.
Good looking
looked like an off-speed pitch, didn't it? Yep.
Good looking changeup. She hadn't pulled that out of her pocket too often, but
Rudity had an infield hit last inning. 1 of 5 singles put on the board by the Tigers, but no runs. Walters brings it wide. First base is open. Bergeron is on deck.
Of course, the infield has drawn back now.
And the 1-2 pitch. Lined into left field, and that's down for a base hit. Here comes the throw. It's cut off. The throw back to second in time. Both runs will score as Rudity lines one into left field. It produces 2 runs as both. The timely hit by Rudity, a 2-run single, the 6th base hit of the game for LSU.
Kilponen making it hop, making it drop, and she's spinning it to win it.
There's a little carping from the LSU dugout on that pitch, which was not ruled a strike.
It looked like a really good pitch.
That's there for a strike. It levels the count at 1.
And Howard Dobson and the blue behind the plate are becoming really good friends.
Well, let's say they're corresponding.
She might want to be careful. Or maybe not.
Here's the 1-1.
Drop ball, maybe just to show her something. She might have left it short on purpose.
We remind you again that there is a second game to follow this one. We'll have it for you right here. Tell a buddy about it. The 2-1.
Might be the only game, well, will be the only SEC game probably on.
Davis is thrown out by Petty at second base. That's 13 in a row. Taken out by Kilponen. Here's Sydney Kuma. And there are just no weak spots in this Georgia lineup.
No.
They've got 8 300 hitters.
I started counting before this series began, and I was like, oh my gosh. And I got to 8, and I was like, 8 out of the 9?
Kilponen burns the inside edge. When she can leave a scar right there, it's going to be a tough pitch to hit.
Yeah, she's working both sides of the plate. She's changing their timing with her changeup.
The bunt attempt is pushed foul back into the net.
Tried to sneak her way on there, and Kuma, who hadn't struck out much, is in a little bit of a nightmare right now.
4 times she has struck out against LSU pitching. She had only fanned 6 times the entire year. Sydney Kuma waiting with 1 out and nobody on base. LSU with 2 in the bottom of the 4th. Allie Kilponen rocks and delivers. That got in on the hands, and Kuma was able to fight it off foul. Here's the 2-2. The make it happen pitch. A changeup, and Kuma got a little piece of it. Just sliced off a sliver.
Tony Baldwin calls her a freak athlete, and that's a good term.
She stands even with the plate, open stance to start, and then will close it right here. And belts one into left center field. That's down for a base hit. It will roll to the wall. And Kuma becomes Georgia's first base runner with a clean double in the gap in left center field.
And that was quite a battle at the plate, and Kuma won it.
That's her 10th double, which matches her home run total. So that is the first base runner for Georgia. And here is Sydney Chambly. And with Georgia, the leading home run producing team in the SEC, you've got to mention, Yvette, that when they get a man on board, the tying run is at the plate, because just about every one of these Georgia players has home run capacity.
She has 7 on the year, and Beth Torina, I thought this was an incredible stat. She said she thinks everybody last year for Georgia had a home run off of the Tigers, but the Tigers won the series 2-1.
Georgia won the first game 3-1 on Friday. A strike to Chambly.
Of course, that series was played in Athens.
Georgia has 16 more home runs than second place Florida. Tennessee, Arkansas, Auburn, and Mississippi State are the top 6 in the league in home runs. That was a lollipop changeup.
Dynamite. Now, I'm not taking anything away from the Bulldogs, but that's a launching pad in Georgia. It's a lot of home runs hitting that ballpark.
That's the best off-speed pitch we've seen today.
Back to back.
Chambly stayed off of that one. It's 2-2. 1 out. And Kuma at second base after a double hit to the left center field gap. A called third strike.
Painted that corner. Painted it. Had Chambly frozen.
That pitch got a lot of the plate. It had some movement to it.
Good.
5 strikeouts for Kilponen.
And good job by Bergeron making herself a small target.
Here's Jaden Fields, who struck out in the 3rd inning. We play in the 5th. 2-0 LSU. Ball 1 to Fields. LSU's baseball team in Auburn has taken a 1-0 lead on the Auburn Tigers. Gavin Dugas hit a home run to open the game. So 1-0 LSU the last time we looked.
Kilponen mixing in a few more changeups than we've seen in the previous innings. The
Well,
last pitch was one.
That score has just been updated. It's now 3-1. Auburn has the lead. So Auburn with a 3-1 lead over LSU. 1-1 pitch, swing and a miss. That ball just kept moving away from the end of the bat, and the cut was a little bit tardy.
Well, that's what I said. That curveball is like a top today. It is spinning so tight and moving.
LSU's crowd comes alive with rhythmic clapping, encouraging the Tigers defensively.
Just missed.
That
Just
was sweeping
missed.
a little bit wide. That's a really good take by Fields.
Yeah, I was about to say a tough take by Fields, but I think she learned on the last pitch. Maybe she swung at a ball. This one was closer.
The make it happen pitch. Struck her out on a changeup.
The season they can't. I don't believe they can do that at regionals. Yeah, it's an NCAA event.
Bergeron strokes one over the head of the shortstop. That one finds grass in left field. And Macy Bergeron is 2 for 2.
2 for 2. Hadn't played in a while and getting a couple of hits and doing a great job behind the plate.
7 base hits now off of the Georgia ace, Shelby Walters. Georgia already has clinched second place. It cannot fall out of second place, nor can it move ahead of Tennessee to get into first place. So it's Tennessee and Georgia. We know those are the number 1 and 2 seeds in the SEC. Kylie Macy is warming up in the Georgia bullpen.
They will use Macy to protect Walters and Kerpix from carrying the burden, reduce the number of looks. But she is used, but primarily Walters and Kerpix are the Bulldogs pitching staff.
LSU put its leadoff batter aboard in the second. It did so in the third. It got its second batter on in the fourth, and it gets the leadoff batter on here in the fifth. Raylene Gutierrez had a bunt sacrifice last time. And pokes at it and misses. One and well, they put ball 2 up on the board. I think that was a strike. Yes, it was. There's the bullpen. One pitch floats in. That was the Walters version of the changeup. It's so impressive when pitchers can land that changeup with exactly the same motion they use on every other pitch.
Well, that's what they've got to match it. They've got to match the look to something else that they throw.
The physics of hitting are so complicated. And there's just a couple of thousandths of a second available to the batter to make a decision.
Full count.
Rudity has 2 hits, so does Bergeron, and so does Clark. They've got 6 of the 7 for the Tigers. Out at second base, somehow Kuma was able to recover. She made a heck of a play to get to the ball. It eluded her for the moment, and somehow she was able to reclaim her presence and get it over to Armistead for a very close out.
Yeah, we were saying, you know, we're bragging on him, a little chink in the armors here, but Bergeron has to be sliding. She's got to be sliding. That play was so close, and then if they could have tagged her.
She had gone past the bag. That is a base running mistake for Bergeron, and you're right, Abed. I don't understand why she didn't get dirty.
T-ball on up.
You have to slow down if you're not going to slide.
Beth is so much calmer than I ever was.
Coffee at the plate. Danica has a 7-game hitting streak in jeopardy right now. She has bounced out to third and popped up to second. LSU has out-hit the Bulldogs 7-1. The score is 2-0 LSU. That's a foul ball on the right side. SEC tournament seeding will be done tonight, just shortly after the conclusion of this game.
And it's a one-and-done tournament.
Be good or be gone.
And I think that's a good thing at this time of the year. You don't need to be doing some double elimination tournament and be exhausted going into regionals. That tournament's all about trying to, in most leagues, trying to get maybe another team into the tournament. With the SEC, you know, 9 or 10 are going to go. They don't have to win it.
Here's the payoff pitch to Coffee.
Just foul.
And when you say just foul, just foul. LSU is trying to add to its 2-0 lead as we play in the bottom of the 5th. And when you look at the results of Georgia games this year, certainly you want to grab as many runs as you can, as often as you can.
All 4.
Now it's Sierra Briggs, who has grounded out twice.
Center fielder, number 88, Sierra Briggs.
88 about to step into the box after all of her
Gyrations.
machinations, and
it's her routine.
It's a lengthy one and an energetic one.
Gosh.
And she fully admits to being pretty superstitious.
If softball ever goes to a pitch clock,
she's going to have to start
some of
in
these
the
girls
on-deck circle.
Going to have a different routine.
And speaking of that, I certainly would put a check in that box to go ahead and start looking very seriously about a clock to speed this game.
I'm in for it. I see what it's done for baseball, and I think it's awesome.
We've had 9-inning baseball games completed a few times this year quicker than 7-inning softball games.
That's sacrilegious. We used to be able to play a 7 innings doubleheader at home, and maybe if you're going to drop any on the road.
1 ball to Taylor Pleasance, who is the leading hitter for LSU with runners in scoring position. Her average in situations like these has been .419.
I tell you, Taylor Pleasance at the beginning of the year before she got hurt was just, you know, top 50 best player out there.
Pleasance rolls it slowly down.
Allie Kilponen has been dynamite, so she could put that Georgia series record in a little bit of jeopardy right now. Giving up only 1 hit so far.
Good one at the plate.
And this is senior day, and she will be honored before the next game, so she's putting on a show for these Tiger fans.
Goodwin chases one upstairs.
Came in as truly a raw athlete. Beth Torina saw her and knew she could mold her into what she wanted. I tell this story about Beth asking her what she threw, and she said rise, curve, drop, screw, whatever, and Beth said, no, you throw a screwball. Because everything was screwball posture. And so in that first fall semester, she didn't allow her to throw a screwball.
We were just taking a look at the cloud cover, which is building again, and there are some places where the sky right now is the color of a coal miner after a 12-hour shift.
Ooh, that's dark. Do we have rain?
I don't think so. Not enough of my bones are aching right now. How about you?
Back is starting to talk to me. Of course, we could do as good a job as the weathermen. 50-50 chance.
Perhaps so. The 0-2 pitch from Kilponen is downstairs to Goodwin. Jaden has been to the plate only once. She popped up to Taylor Pleasance. There's been only one base runner. It was a 1-out, very clean double into the left center field gap off the bat of Sydney Kuma. There's the changeup, and it's rammed foul. Here's the 1-2, right back from whence it came through the circle, and every time Georgia gets a base runner, it enables the potential tying run to come to the plate.
Let's see what happens here. It is a drop ball.
That's just a really good job of putting the barrel of the bat between the stitches on the softball. Here's the shortstop, Armistead.
She's trying to push that bunt past a charging Gutierrez.
Armistead hitting .308 coming into the game. Kilponen struck her out in the 3rd inning. Two strikes from Kilponen. Armistead has moved closer to the pitcher's rubber and swings on this one and drives it out to shallow center field. It will be Taylor Pleasance retreating to make the play from the shortstop position. One out for Goodnight.
Here comes Beth Torina, wants to make sure they're all on the same page here.
Goodnight is not a home run threat. She's had one, but the Bulldog on deck certainly is. Mosley has 16. Eagle taking flight for the first time at an Auburn baseball game. Of course, it's been doing it for some years in the football stadium, but the Golden Eagle taking flight over the field for the baseball game as well.
Very cool. Doesn't that eagle run into the press box window sometimes?
I don't know.
I think in football it has.
There's 2 or 3 that they actually use.
Oh, okay.
And they have a tryout, so to speak, before on the early
sure.
Saturday morning, and the one who performs best gets to do it that night.
Didn't know that. See, I told you people out there you would learn
That's
something
correct.
that had nothing to do with softball. Is that real, or did you make it up?
No, that's real.
Okay.
Berzon is warming up, and so is Chafin for the Tigers.
My next door neighbor, Tex Morris, is an ex-Auburn baseball player, so I'll check to see if that's true.
Wow. Well, we talked about the Georgia shortstop, and LSU shortstop says, I'll come to play as well.
I can do that too.
Now they're going to challenge this at first base.
Got her.
She's out. Taylor Pleasance, just a whipsaw throw over to first base.
Might as well use it. He's got 2. It's 6th inning. But
I think that was clearly the right call.
This one will be quick. The last one was, you had to take a couple of angles to look at it. Of course, we were wrong.
You know, we've come to take for granted throws like that from Pleasance and her counterpart at Georgia. But that is so difficult to do. Watch the trend. This is the play at the end, and the ball is in the mitt right there, just ahead of the contact by the toe, it appeared.
Good stretch job right there by Gutierrez. What a first baseman should look like.
So the call has been upheld. Now, Yvette, I'm going to be a proponent in softball for what the SEC baseball does in these situations. They have the umpires mic'd. So the umpires will say before review happens, this play will be reviewed and here's what we're looking at. And then when the decision is made from Birmingham, they'll come back and make the announcement to the crowd. And it's just so fan friendly. Everybody knows what's going on.
Just like in football and basketball.
Nobody's griping about, how much time it takes. And I just think it's a very good thing to do. It takes the pressure off the umpires, and the fans know what's happening.
Don't they do that in football and basketball too?
Yeah, something very similar.
Yeah, you're right. That keeps the crowd involved. And
there's no reason not to. The technology is there. The 1-0 pitch to Mosley. Sweeps wide, and it's 2-0. Mosley is hitting .400 with runners in scoring position, and that's #1 for this potent Georgia team. That one burned its way to the plate, didn't it? It left a smoke trail.
Nobody wants a piece of that pitch.
LSU clinging to a 2-0 lead in the 6th inning against Georgia. 10th ranked in the land.
Shows you how well Koponen is pitching. She's at 82 pitches now in the 6th inning. And she's got 2 outs here.
Mosley has 16 home runs. Pops it up. Petty calls for it and makes the play, moving to her left. Here's Georgia Clark. And she's thrown out by the shortstop. Ellie Armistead getting Georgia Clark. 1 pitch from Shelby Walters in the 6th inning, and 1 out on a ground ball to short. This brings on Newland, who's 1 for 2 today and was 3 for 3 on Friday. Other scores are piling in from around the league, and we will get to them here as we can. Our promises do not go unkept. Well, most of them. Newland had a double and scored in the 4th. She lined out in the 2nd. This is lobbed to center field and caught on the run by Dallas Goodnight.
2 quick outs for the Dogs.
Auburn 3-0 over Mississippi State. That Auburn team is just kind of rolling along quietly.
And Mississippi State had gotten hot lately.
South Carolina leads Tennessee 4-2 in the bottom of the 7th inning. That's not a game that Tennessee needs to win to fall out of first place in the SEC. Alabama has a 2-1 lead over Ole Miss in the 4th inning. Emma Stroud is going to bat here.
Pitcher hitter.
Emma is out of League City, Texas.
Cum laude graduate.
She's listed as a pitcher and a utility player. Florida and Kentucky will play later, and Arkansas will do the same against Missouri. And so only one final, Auburn shutting out Mississippi State. And Auburn won 2 out of 3 in that series.
We'll know a lot of seedings by the time we
Pretty much all of
get
them, yeah.
to the second game, maybe.
Stroud is batting for Petty, who's had a tough time in this series. She has struck out 5 times, twice today.
Sometimes you need to just sit and breathe for a little bit.
And there are certain matchups that are not to your favor, and I think we've kind of seen that a little bit in this series with Georgia really pitching Petty well and consistently. Here's the 2-2. Emma fouls that one back. That's pretty well coordinated, isn't it?
Well, they've got it down. You're not going to see too many softball teams that are not coordinated.
The 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss.
Great looking pitch.
3 up, 3 down. We go to the 7th. LSU up by a pair.
For Kilponen.
Jada Kearney has struck out and bounced back to the box. The first pitch is lifted into foul ground. There is room for Gutierrez, and one gone.
It's that big first important out.
So one pitch and one dispatched, and on we go to Davis, who has flied to left on a really nice play out there by Newland earlier in the game. And she also has bounced out to Petty at second base. The pitch in the upper part of the strike zone.
Kilponen looking like the all-SEC player from last year right now.
And she has been so fluid. She has been in a rhythm. She is working quickly, and she is throwing strikes.
Last 2 weekends. I don't know if something was bothering her.
Briggs on the move. She's got it. Briggs covers more ground in center field than Kudzu, and there's out number 2.
You know, for a second I was like, well, there's a hit, and then for another split second, nah, Briggs is out there. That's an out.
Briggs, one of the best in the country,
No
at
errors.
taking that first and second step toward the ball, toward the ball's finishing point, as she reads it very well off the bat. 2 outs now, and here's Kuma.
Golden Glove winner 2 years in a row without an error so far.
Kuma is first pitch swinging and falls behind 1 strike. Allie Kilponen and her LSU teammates are trying to close out a 2-hit shutout of Georgia. Let's look and see how many times Georgia has been shut out this year. Not a lot. And not shut out in this game yet. This ball is hit deep. Does Briggs have room? It's out of her reach. Sydney Kuma on cue breaks up the shutout. And we've got a 1-run game as Kuma puts a charge into one.
Are you kidding me? You might have jinxed it, Lynn. But not for Georgia. Let's see here. Does Briggs have a shot right here? Oh, look at Kilponen. She doesn't even move. She knows that she made a mistake. Oh. I bet you Briggs looks at that video and goes, how did I miss that?
Georgia had only been shut out twice this year. Sydney Kuma has just wrapped her 11th home run.
So how important is that first and second out in that inning?
Extraordinarily important.
And how about this kid who had struck out, what, 4 or 5 times?
Mm-hmm.
And then she gets 2 base hit, well, a home run and a base hit. That's why it's a funny game, you know. You fail, and then boom.
Here's Chambly. She has bounced out and struck out. Sydney has 7 homers. She's capable.
We have to look at the stat and see if Georgia's hit a home run and how many games have they not hit a home run in.
LSU is undefeated this year. When going into the 7th inning with a lead, it's 25-0, trying to make it 26-0. But Georgia has pulled closer on the Kuma home run over the center field wall. One run, 3 hits for Georgia. 2 runs, 7 hits for the Tigers. 2 outs, nobody on base. Top of the 7th. LSU with a 1-run lead. Jaden Fields is on deck. The 1-2 pitch. Change up, swing and a miss. Allie Kilponen, who has thrown a dozen beautiful changeups today, strikes out the final hitter, Sydney.
Whenever I look into your eyes, I find less peace and love for me. You are everything that I have ever wanted. I want to spend every second of my life with you. I don't know if some kind of a magical if agreeing with you. So the joy effect that I have turned us away. So did the effect on your smile on me in my life. Baby, you are and will remain mine forever and ever. Whenever I look into your eyes, I find less peace and love for me. You are everything that I have ever wanted. I want to spend every second of my life with you. I don't know if some kind of a magical if agreeing with you. So the joy effect that I have turned us away. So did the effect on your smile on me in my life. Baby, you are and will remain mine forever and ever. I don't know if some kind of a magical if agreeing with you. So the joy effect that I have turned us away. So did the effect on your smile on me in my life. Baby, you are and will remain mine forever and ever. I never want to leave you at any cost. I have given all my efforts to be with you. I pray that you stay by my side and keep my promises. You are the best part of my life. You will fill my life with so much love and heart with internal happiness. Imagining my life without you seems impossible now. I'm fortunate that I have for you. I never want to leave you at any cost. I have given all my efforts to be with you. I pray that you stay by my side and keep my promises. You are the best part of my life. You will fill my life with so much love and heart with internal